Most people think impulse spending is a money problem, but usually it's emotional. People rarely buy things only because they need them. They buy things because they want to feel something. Relief, excitement, comfort, status, escape. And modern culture has become incredibly effective at turning emotion into consumption. Because today, almost everything is designed to keep people buying. Fast delivery, infinite scrolling, constant advertising, endless upgrades. And over time, many people begin spending money not to improve their lives, but to temporarily improve how they feel. Minimalist wealth. Minimalize your way to financial freedom. Most impulse purchases happen emotionally before they happen logically. People spend money after stressful days, when tension lingers and relief feels far away. During moments of boredom, when the silence seems dull and we crave distraction. After feeling lonely, searching for comfort amid emptiness. Or when we want temporary excitement, chasing a new spark to brighten the mood. Buying something new creates a short emotional reward, a small dopamine spike, that brief sense of pleasure. And for a moment, it feels satisfying. Almost like the world is a little lighter. That's why people often buy things they never planned to purchase, not because the item is necessary, but because the emotional experience feels rewarding. The problem is, the feeling usually fades quickly. And when it disappears, the mind begins searching for the next purchase. Another upgrade, another package, another temporary emotional boost. Slowly, this creates a quiet cycle. Emotional consumption that's hard to notice, but easy to repeat.
Modern consumer culture is built around capturing attention and triggering desire. Advertisements are no longer occasional interruptions. They are constant. Every day, people see thousands of marketing messages. Social media platforms expose users to luxury, upgrades, status, and carefully curated lifestyles. Slowly, expectations are reshaped. Over time, people stop comparing themselves to normal life, and instead compare themselves to highlight reels. That comparison creates dissatisfaction. Modern culture trains people to feel like they are always missing something. A better lifestyle, a better appearance, a better version of themselves. And unfortunately, consumption is often presented as the solution. Buy this, upgrade that, improve your image, transform your life. But most purchases do not solve emotional dissatisfaction for very long.
Impulse spending often feels powerful in the moment because it creates the illusion of progress. Buying something new can feel like self-improvement, reward, or emotional movement, even when nothing meaningful actually changes. That's why shopping can temporarily reduce stress or anxiety. It distracts the mind. It creates novelty. And novelty stimulates the brain. But the emotional effect usually fades much faster than the financial consequences. The excitement disappears. But the monthly payments remain. The clutter remains. The financial pressure remains. And eventually, many people begin realizing they were not truly buying products. They were buying emotional experiences, temporary comfort, temporary identity, temporary escape. which is why emotional awareness becomes extremely important financially.
One of the biggest misconceptions in modern culture is the belief that consuming more automatically creates a better life. But fulfillment and consumption are not always connected, because many meaningful parts of life are difficult to purchase. Peace of mind, strong relationships, purpose, time freedom, emotional stability. And often, the constant pursuit of more consumption actually creates more stress instead of less. More expenses, more comparison, more dependency on income. Which is why many people eventually discover something surprising. Some of the happiest periods of life are often the simplest ones. The periods with less pressure, less comparison, and less emotional dependency on buying things.
One of the most powerful financial habits someone can develop is learning to pause before spending emotionally. To ask, do I actually need this? Or am I trying to change how I feel right now? Because that small moment of awareness changes everything. It interrupts impulsive behavior. It separates emotion from consumption. And over time, it creates more intentional living. Not because spending money is bad, but because unconscious spending often creates unconscious pressure. Real financial freedom usually begins when people stop using consumption as emotional therapy and start building a life that no longer requires constant purchasing to feel satisfying.
Impulse spending is rarely just about money. It's often about emotion, stress, identity, comfort, and the desire to feel better, even temporarily. But real financial freedom usually comes from learning how to separate emotional fulfillment from constant consumption. If you enjoyed this, subscribe to Minimalist Wealth for more on wealth psychology, simple living, and long-term financial freedom. And remember, minimalize your way to financial freedom.